Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, you're most certainly welcome, of course. So today I want to basically talk to you guys about dealing with a difficult patient as a healthcare provider. With that being said, let's get right into the video. So today I want to talk to you guys about ways you can deal with difficult patients, because I know as a healthcare provider or healthcare student, whether it's respiratory therapy or nursing or whatever it is you're doing in the hospital that involves you being hands-on and one-on-one with a patient, I'm pretty sure you've come across someone you label as being difficult. Here are a few things that I do that helps me deal with someone I think is difficult. So the number one thing I want to say is to be calm. Always remain calm, because if you allow someone to get under your skin and you start getting annoyed, you're obviously going to act out of character, and you are most likely going to say something that's not appropriate, and then you're going to regret saying what you said at the end of the day. So if you don't want to have any regrets, just remain calm, woosah in your head, and just deal with the situation the best way you know how without getting angry. Because as a student, that will come back and bite you, because if you become angry and you say something very unprofessional to a patient, number one, the hospital is not going to want you back to come to their place and work with their patient, because you just basically became very unprofessional. So they are most likely going to talk to your preceptor who's going to talk to your professor and tell them they don't want you back at the clinical site because you don't know how to, deal with situations properly. And let's say you don't go back to the site, in the healthcare field, word do get around. And most likely, if you start with a bad reputation as a student, no one's going to want to hire you, because no one's going to want to work with you. So not only are you going to be losing clinical experience, you are most likely not even going to get a job at that hospital if it's a hospital that you really wanted to work at. After you're done with school, after graduation, you're not going to get a job there, because they're not going to want to work with you. It's pretty much that simple. And as someone who wants to go into the healthcare field, you cannot go into the healthcare field if you are not a calm person. Number two, I would say for you to talk to your patient, because at the end of the day, your patient is human. Don't dehumanize your patient just because they're in the hospital and you are taking care of them. They are human. They do have emotions. They do have feelings. Talk to them. They might just be having a bad day and they just want someone to talk to. And if they simply say they don't want to talk, it's okay. Just leave them alone. I'm pretty sure they will eventually calm down anyway. And once they do calm down, they might want to have that conversation that you wanted to have earlier. So, just talk to them. Try to see what's going on with your patient, and just don't dehumanize your patient, like I said. Number three is to have empathy. This is a huge thing for me, because I don't think as someone going into the healthcare field, you can be a healthcare provider if you are not an empathetic person. You have to have some type of empathy for anybody, because you might not understand their psychological way of thinking. You might not understand what emotions they're dealing with. They might have just gotten a bad news about, I don't know, a disease, like a deadly disease that they have, and they don't know how to cope with it, so they're in a really bad mood. So for you to have empathy and to feel what they're feeling, it'll help you greatly in dealing with a difficult patient. The next thing I would say for you to do is ask yourself if it's your patient that's having a bad day, or if it's you that's having a bad day. Because sometimes it could be us that's having a bad day and we're just saying it's the patient, when in actuality maybe we took our problems from home to work, which is something I would advise anybody not to do. Don't ever take your problems home from work, and vice versa, because leave your hospital problems at the hospital and your home problems at the hospital. Because if you start mixing both of those emotions together, it's not like, it'll be a horrible experience, not only for you but for the people you're taking care of and the people in your life. So you know, just try to separate the two. You can't mix, oil and water can't mix anyway, so try to separate the two. After you figure out whether you're the one with the problem or it's the patient that has the problem, I think it's easy for me to say that you should avoid arguments at all costs with your patient. I don't know if you guys always remember this. At stores or restaurants, the customer is always right, and that's the same thing at the hospital. The customer is always right. Whether you think they're wrong or not, they're right. So avoid arguing with your patient, because it's very unprofessional. If we're being completely honest, it is extremely unprofessional for you to be arguing with a patient. At the same time, be able to put your foot down, but do it respectfully, because I would not advise you to let anybody to walk over you, because you're not a doormat. You also are human. Don't allow anybody to talk to you disrespectfully, but make sure when you're communicating with your patients, you do it with respect. Last but not least is, if someone is just simply annoying you at work and you know you think they're difficult and you just don't want to deal with them, just shake it off. Like Taylor Swift said, shake it off. Wait till the end of your shift and, you know, just go home and do what makes you happy, whether it's going for a walk, whether it is, I don't know, sleeping, because, you know, I love to sleep. I sleep any chance I get. So for me, I like taking walks and I like sleeping. So if you're not into stuff like that, my next step, another thing I like to do, is if you are dealing with a difficult patient and you just cannot wait to go home, and when you do get home, have yourself a nice glass of wine, guys. It fixes everything. Okay, maybe not a glass, maybe two, or the whole bottle. Yeah, the whole bottle works. Have yourself a nice bottle of wine, some Grey's Anatomy, or Game of Thrones. Do whatever it takes to distract you from the horrible day you had, so you can be a better RT the next day. Cheers. But I don't condone underage drinking, so make sure you're 21 and you can buy your own wine without a fake ID. Okay. So that's it for this video, you guys. If you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know, and I'll talk to you in another video. Thank you so much for watching, and I really appreciate all of you guys. Bye. Okay.